Guys, everybody is talking about prismatic evolutions, basically, or everybody that is in the community of Pokemon TCG. For good reason, of course. The hype is very real. There's a lot of hype going on, and the news that we've gotten over the last couple of days. I've done a couple of videos on them. If you haven't seen it, watch back on my channel. It's not that hard to find, I think. But today we are going to talk about something that was also stated and was given to us as a piece of information about the set. There's been a couple of very interesting points, and we're going to talk about one main part of that, and that is the special illustration rare Pokemon and supporter cards. We're going to talk about that more extensively in a minute. One other thing that I wanted to talk about shortly right now are the Pokeball and the Master Ball reverse holo patterns that we're gonna get in this set as well. In my videos, I did not really even consider this, but some people were talking about this in their videos, and I just didn't consider this. But it could very well be that the art on the reverse holo pattern is gonna be different than the one that we saw in Japanese 151 with the Pokeballs and the Master Balls. How it's going to be, we don't know. Like, we haven't heard or seen anything from this. These are examples from 151, Japanese 151. And like, could it be the same? Perhaps, but it could very well be a different art. Will there be also multiple Pokeballs slash Master Balls on the pattern, or is it only gonna be one Pokeball, one Master Ball on the pattern? I mean, we just don't know. Nobody knows. We only will know once there's more news on some of the cards, or maybe a general reveal of the pattern. I don't know. That was something interesting that I did not really consider beforehand. Now, the main thing that we're going to talk about, like I said, are the special illustration rare Pokemon EX and supporter cards. Because this was something very surprising and almost unbelievable for some people. There were even a lot of people in their videos that thought that this was a typo, that it was a mistake by PokeBeach, or perhaps somebody else, I don't know, from who they got their info from. But I actually don't think this is a typo. I'm gonna explain my thoughts on that. First of all, I just watched the full live stream where PokeBeach and Justin Basil have their news updates, and they were going over all this information that we've gotten too, and like, they did not seem to think this is a typo. They did not really mention that, but they did go over all this information, and it was not really something they were surprised by that much. They were telling that like it's a lot, but they were not really saying like this could be false. So I don't have any reason to believe this is false. I think this is correct. But why is this so unbelievable for a lot of people? Is because it is. It is just, we haven't seen this in Scarlet and Violet. The most amount of SIRs that we have seen is from Paldea Evolved, and there were only 15. This is more than double that. We also have Paradox Rift with 14, I believe. So like 32 is just off the charts. Off the charts. That's just amazing. 32 SIRs. Now, one of the other reasons that I do believe this is going to be correct is, well, it's not a main set. It's a specialty set for the end of the year in Japan, or the beginning of the year for us in English. But this also reminded me of Crown Zenith. because Crown Zenith was also a specialty set, but from Sword and Shield. It was actually in fact the last set from Sword and Shield, but it was a specialty set that released at the same in the same period that Terrestrial Festival / Prismatic Evolutions will release. And that set had the Galarian Gallery, right? And some illustrations there had yellow borders, some had silver borders and had texture. They were the alt arts, let's say, from that set. And there were also 32. Strange, right? 32. And there were 4 additional gold alt arts, being the Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, and Arceus gold cards, but also kind of alternate arts. But the silver border ones also were the alt arts, and there were 32 of those. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Does that mean that there's gonna be a like Paldean gallery maybe? I don't know. But I do think there's gonna be 32 SIRs in this set. We don't know how many illustration rares there are gonna be. I mean, there must be more than 32, right? I think there must be more than 32. Why would they give more SIRs than illustration rares, than IRs? That would not make any sense to me. But of course, the main question that people had about this then, if this is correct, like who is going to get these SIRs? We know a couple of supporter cards will get some. We don't know who, which trainers are going to get one. But still, we have so many Pokemon probably that get an SIR in this. And let's talk about this. I'm going to go over my thoughts. Just to be sure, guys, just to be clear. I don't know. Nobody knows until there's more news. Except maybe some people that work for the Pokemon company. But nobody knows at this point in time which cards exactly will get an SIR. We just don't know. We can only speculate at this point until there's more news about this. And I'm gonna take my time. I'm just gonna think out loud a little bit as well. Now, of course, the main focus of Prismatic Evolutions is presumably going to be the evolutions. And we got the EXs from the Japanese set Terrestrial Festival, and there's 9 evolutions, like including EVEX himself. So let's assume that all 9 of them get SIRs, right? That leaves 23 more SIRs for the rests, including the trainer SIRs, the supporter SIRs. Now, what I did not watch before is actually the visual set list on Justin Basil's website, and when I took a look at it, was like, wait, we see all the EXs from the 9th generation decks, and then I was thinking, wait, this number doesn't add up, does it? Because if we look at the released information on Prismatic Evolutions, we also see, like besides these 32 SIRs, that there's going to be 10 Pokemon EXs and 15 Terra Pokemon EXs. 15 Terra Pokemon EXs, of which 9 of these Terras are Eevee and its evolutions. They all have Terra EXs. Are they all gonna be in the set? We still actually don't know. That's not confirmed, but I assume they will all be in the set. So that would be 9, which leaves 6 more Terra and 10 regular EXs. And there's not going to be any other EXs, right? But that number doesn't really make a lot of sense when we count everything that is in this visual set list. And we don't really need the visual set list to count them, because all the EXs that are added to that visual set list are the Pokemon in the 9 generation decks. So there's 9 generation decks, 2 of each, so 18 EXs. 18 EXs. and there's 9 with Eevee and its evolutions, which adds up to 27, not 25. So how does that work? Like, what is going to happen with that? We see here with the information 25 Pokemon EXs in total, right? Whilst in the visual set we got 27. Where is the mistake? Where is the flaw? Is there a flaw in the in this, or is the flaw in the visual set list? My thought, my assumption is going to the set lists that has a flaw for some reason, but I would not know where exactly. Now, one point that we cannot forget though, I think, is pretty much at the end of the news that we've gotten. They also said our set might also include some cards from the EX starter deck generations. Some cards. That does not mean all of the cards. So does that mean that they are going to just use some of these generations? That would be kind of odd, a bit awkward, I think, to leave a couple of generations out. Are they just going to include like one of the two Pokemon from the generations? Are they just going to use the legendaries from the generations or the regular Pokemon? Are they going to... I mean, if we think about it, some people might think they even will bring back some tag teams, but I don't think that's going to be the case, because otherwise we would not be seeing the regular EXs like this, the Amoonguss EX, Reshiram EX and Blaziken EX. Like, they would be together in the art if they would be tag teams, right? Is it possible that they will do one of the two, but the other is going to be in the arts? I mean, I'm just thinking out loud, guys. Just let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think is going to happen with this. I'm a bit confused actually because of this, because I don't know what I should believe. Do I have to believe this? I do think this should be correct, right? I think this should be correct, the information that we've gotten. Whilst this is basically a combination of Terrestrial Festival and the 9 generation decks, because we also see at the number here, when we look at the bottom, for example, the Flareon is number 22 out of 187. So there's 187 cards or main cards in Terrestrial Festival, whilst in the generation decks we see here, for example, Blaziken is number 16 out of 175. So in the generation decks, in total there's 175 different cards apparently. And that's a bit odd, because they obviously cannot combine all of these cards together. That's just way too big. But like, how will they decide to add some of these cards to the set and some not? Is it actually going to be like they're going to leave out a couple of evolutions in the set that they will make promos for? I don't know. It's possible. I hope not, but it's possible. I don't think they would leave out a couple of generations. That would be even more awkward, I think. We've seen them cut out a couple of evolutions in the set, because we know in Eevee Heroes, the Japanese set from Evolving Skies kinda, had also the Jolteon, Flareon and Vaporeon alt arts, whilst they were cut out from Evolving Skies and put into those premium collection boxes. So could they do a similar thing here? Probably. But yeah, I mean, that just means it would not be the Flareon, Vaporeon and Jolteon though, in my opinion, if they do that. Because right now, all the EXs added up we come out at a number of 27 EXs, whilst we need 25. So they would have to cut out 2 evolutions. So if they would go that route, again, guys, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just speculating. We don't know what's going to happen, but it could be maybe. But if they would have to leave out 2 evolutions, I mean, it would kind of have to be or Leafeon and Glaceon, or Umbreon and Sylveon, I'd say. Because like, it would not make sense to leave Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon out. There's 3 of those, and then we add up to 24. So that means we would need an extra EX. That would be very weird. So those are not an option, I feel like. You could say maybe Eevee and Sylveon, but that would be even more strange, because Eevee is the mascot of the set. So leaving that EX out is just extremely weird if they would do that. I don't think they will do that. So either they will have to, I think, leave out 2 evolutions, being or Espeon and Umbreon, or Leafeon and Glaceon, I think. Or they would have to, I don't know, or the information that we've gotten here is wrong on these 25 Pokemon EXs. Now, in the case that they leave out a couple of evolutions, and this does add up to 25 then, well, then it is pretty easy to see which cards will get their SIRs in the set, right? Because then we have 25 EX Pokemon, which does not mean all 25 of them will get SIRs. But even if there are 25 SIRs from Pokemon, there are still 7 left, and that will probably be for the supporter cards. There could be more supporter cards, there could be less. I personally don't think that there's gonna be 25 SIRs. They've never really done alternate arts, or the same amount of alternate arts or SIRs as there are full arts in the sets. So in Sword and Shield, you had the full arts for the V cards, and in Scarlet and Violet, you have the full arts for the EXs, right? There's always been more regular V full arts and full art EXs than alt arts or special illustration rares, right? So I'd assume that they would not give all of them SIRs. So my thought is maybe they would just give the legendaries an SIR, maybe? I don't know. But that would kind of also mean that Pikachu would get another SIR. Because in the first deck, in the first generation deck, there's no legendary. So that would kind of mean that Pikachu would get another SIR, which is not impossible, because like Charizard does get SIRs multiple times. God of War even does get multiple alternate arts or SIRs. It's definitely possible, but I don't know. Let me see if there's something else that I was thinking of. Yeah, something else. I was talking about the number on the amount of cards earlier, right? And that's also pretty odd, because in Terrestrial Festival we see that there's going to be 187 main cards, right? But in the information that we've gotten, we only know there's gonna be over 175. So they don't say specifically 175. Does that mean exactly 175? Or is it possibly more? It's probably gonna be less than 187, because something that we do know is that some of the cards in here, like the Flareon, the Vaporeon, like the basic version of those cards, are promos in the English set. We have seen that in the poster collection and the sticker collections. And probably in the future also with the Super Premium collection, as well as the premium figure collection, because we don't have Umbreon and Espeon yet as those promos. But that's basically 8 cards that you can already, eight cards that you can already cut from the Terrestrial Festival set to get to the amount of prismatic evolutions, and that's already going down to like 179. Are there some other cards that are gonna leave out of this set? Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, if they decide to cut out just a couple of evolutions entirely, it could be possible. Let's say, for example, they would cut out Espeon and Umbreon, which probably a lot of people would not enjoy. But let's say they remove Espeon and Umbreon from the set. It could be Leafeon and Glaceon maybe as well, but it's just an example. Espeon and Umbreon, they remove them from the deck entirely and make promo cards out of both the regular versions and the EXs. I mean, there's that would still only leave out 2 extra more cards, which would get us to 177 cards. I don't know. It's a thought process. Apparently, from what they said in during the live stream here on PokeBeach's channel, apparently they're going to get more news on the generation decks pretty soon, in the next 2 weeks probably, because they will release at the second half of November, I believe. Was it like this 22nd? I think it was. Yeah, the 22nd of November, these generation decks will release, so we will know a little bit more of what is coming in those. But yeah, like it's then on the other hand, I'm still thinking, like, on the other hand, we don't actually know if there's going to be SIRs from any of these. There might just be no SIRs from these cards at all. Maybe they just add a couple without adding an SIR from these, and they just will give some other Pokemon EXs and SIRs. Point is, we just don't know. But it's fun to speculate. My thought probably goes towards them leaving out maybe 2 evolutions, so that the number adds up and we actually get 25 Pokemon EXs. Because right now it doesn't add up. It does not add up. Like 27 on the one source and then 25 at the other source. I don't know. It seems a bit weird. Or one of the two is wrong. And I think, yeah, that's a thought that I was leaning towards. I'm thinking they're gonna leave or Leafeon or Leafeon and Glaceon out of the set, or they're gonna leave Espeon and Umbreon out of the set. That is the thought that I have. If this information is correct, of course, if there's only 25 Pokemon EXs, I feel like there's only gonna be they're not going to include all the evolutions, probably. Then again, we could actually look at the amount of Terra Pokemon as well and the regular Pokemon EXs, because if we look at the set itself, let's see here. I don't actually know. Let's see how many of the EXs here are actually Terra Pokemon. Because I don't think there's a lot of them actually. Like Amoonguss is not Terra Pokemon, Blaziken, Reshiram not, Kyurem, Kyurem, Kyogre, Pikachu, Tapu Koko. These are all non-Terra types. Xerneas, Mimikyu, Alcremie. These are all non-Terra types, so I don't know what is going on with that. Like Lucario, Koraidon. No, these are all regular EXs. So yeah, like this doesn't add up at all, right? It's just my thought process. I'm just I'm processing this as well, guys. This is not rehearsed or something like that. I'm thinking at the same time that I'm looking at this, because right now there's 18 regular EXs, and it would not work out that way because there's only supposed to be 10 Pokemon EXs, regular ones. Like, how would that work? Because in that case, there's indeed way too many of these 9 generation decks EXs, right? So in that case, maybe they would just add one of the 2 Pokemon. This cannot work. This cannot work. 18 regular EXs, whilst on Pokebeach we see there's only 10 regular Pokemon EXs. This seems kind of weird. What do you guys think of that? I could have easily made this into a live stream maybe, because this is gonna be a pretty long video just of me thinking and speculating maybe. Yeah, this is very interesting. Like, if they would cut out some of these generation decks, EXs, like which ones are they going to cut out from that? There's 9 generations, 2 Pokemon each, and there can only be 10 regular EXs. Like, are they just going to leave out one of the 2, which leaves us with 9 regular EXs? Which means that we would need to get 1 extra EX. Or what they also could do, maybe, this adds up a little better maybe, is they just leave out the legendary EXs and just keep the other regular Pokemon, because then we add actually up to 10. That kind of could make sense, because I mean, this might all be wrong. My assumptions might all be wrong. I'm just thinking out loud, because for all the 9 generations except for the first generation, there is a legendary in the decks, right? So which means if we just leave out all the legendaries, that means leaving out 8 Pokemon from the 18 that are in this. So that leaves us with 10 Pokemon, which could be the 10 EXs then, correct? So then we would have 10 EXs, and then we can still keep all the evolutions, maybe, right? And then we would get 19 SIRs for Pokemon. 19 EXs so far. So 10 regular EXs, and then we got 9 Terra Pokemon EXs. So that leaves us with 6 extra Pokemon EXs. Now the question is, like, if we go that route, which other Pokemon will they include for this to add up to 15 Terra Pokemon EXs? This is difficult to figure out, I feel like, This is pretty difficult to figure out. Like, I really don't know how they would, like, do this. Of course, I mean, we actually don't know yet what the full set list is going to be from Terrestrial Festival, because we know that we get all the evolutions, Eevee and its evolutions. We don't know, I don't think we know if there are going to be any other EXs in Terrestrial Festival. Right? I don't say there's gonna be, but there might be a possibility that there's some extra EXs from Terrestrial Festival that we don't know about. It's not something that I expected initially, but I mean, there might be some extra EXs from Terrestrial Festival that we actually just don't know about, because I don't think we have gotten those numbers from the set yet. We don't know how many SIRs or SAR, sorry, or Pokemon EXs there will be in this set, right? Huh. That is very interesting to me. Wow. This might not be a very exciting or very, let's say, entertaining video, because I'm thinking at the same time that I'm looking at this and going back and forth between both sides and looking at the information that we've gotten. Huh. Is there something else that we can see? There's 12 ultra rare supporter cards. So that's also something that I haven't really thought about before either. So there's not gonna be more than 12 supporter SIRs. Like, at most 12, but I don't think there's gonna be 12. I think there's gonna be less than 12 supporter SIRs. Maybe I'd assume... maybe it is just 7. But nah, that would mean that all the Pokemon would get an SIR. That is not going to happen, I think. Let's assume that... god damn, this is difficult. This is really difficult. I was thinking, like, if we give all the Pokemon EXs, the regular EXs from the Generation Dex, an SIR, so leaving out all the legendaries, which gives us these 10 Pokemon EXs, and giving them an SIR, and then giving all the evolutions, Eevee and its evolutions, an SIR, then we're at 19. That leaves 13 more, of which there are some supporter cards, but there's only 12 supporter cards, ultra rare supporter cards. So there's definitely a couple more Pokemon that would need to get an SIR. Maybe there's like 10 SIRs for the supporter cards, or 9, which would leave us with like 3 or 4 extra Pokemon SIRs. Huh. Yeah, I mean, guys, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, we just don't know. But it's kind of difficult to think, like, how they will do this. How will they do this? I don't know about some... have there been any promo cards in Japanese or any other languages that they could use for this set, for Prismatic Evolutions? I don't know. I don't know if there are any that they could use in this set that we're missing. We just assume, actually, that they are going to use just Terrestrial Festival and the Generation 9 Generation Dex. Are they gonna use some more? Maybe. It's hard to tell. We just don't know the full set from Terrestrial Festival, nor do we know all the cards from the 9 generation decks. But yeah, it's very interesting to see. Like, it obviously cannot be all the evolutions, Eevee and its evolutions, and all the generation starters, generation decks, EXs, or the info that we've gotten was wrong. Because otherwise, I mean, even then, it doesn't make sense. Because we would have 27, but we would have like 18 regular Pokemon EXs and only 9 Terra Pokemon. Yeah, it would just not work. Like, would they be completely wrong? Because in that case, we would have to get like 18 Pokemon EXs and 9 Terra Pokemon EXs. Because that is what we see if we look at the Justin Basil visual set list right now. That is what we see right now over here. 27 EXs total, of which only 9 Terra EXs and 18 regular EXs. And that doesn't make up the same number. Like, this doesn't match. That's kind of weird. That's really weird. And regarding the supporter cards, like, which supporter cards are they going to give these ultra rare supporters? Because, I mean, we do have the 9 generation decks. So I think, let's see here. They might give all of the professors an SIR. A full art. Because we have 9 of them. That leaves 3 more from Terrestrial Festival. Then. That's interesting, actually. Because, I mean, I wouldn't think that Terrestrial Festival... That's really weird. I cannot wrap my head around that. There's only 12 ultra rare supporter cards. There's 9 professor cards in this. From the generation decks alone. So that would leave only 3 more ultra rare supporter cards for Terrestrial Festival. Which would mean that those 3 would also get SIRs probably for Terrestrial Festival, I'd say. Because this is this doesn't seem correct. Or they would have to leave out some generations, like I said at the beginning. But that would be so awkward, wouldn't it? Man. That would be awkward. Like, what generations would they leave out even if they do that? I'm still thinking like adding some cards from the set, from these decks. Like which card would they add, would they leave out? I'm still thinking towards the like leaving out all the legendaries, even though I would be sad kind of, because I would much rather have it the other way around, like leaving out the regular Pokemon and just keeping the legendaries. That would be much cooler in my opinion, but the numbers don't add up that way. I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. It's a big speculation, of course. We don't know. What would you guys like to see? Do you have your own theory? What's gonna happen? What do you think is going to happen? What do you want to happen for Prismatic Evolutions? I'm super hyped and I can't wait for more information on the set. Guys, I hope you had a bit of your own thoughts here. I hope this made you think a little bit. I hope at the same time you had a good time watching this video. It probably wasn't very entertaining, like I said before. This was just a random like thought process of me. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. Also, don't forget to check out some of my other update videos on the channel, or some of my openings. I really appreciate your support, guys. Thank you so much, and see you guys next time. Bye.